feel 5, je t'aime, and a 1, and a 2, and a 4, parallel by 2, assemble. 5, left.
I started dancing on a regular basis when I was 16. Before that I'd done a lot of theatre. I'd been singing for a few years and been in musicals, plays, etc. And really it was my mother who used to be sort of a show dancer, and it was her that inspired me to try and do some dancing.
I started when I was 8 years old. I always wanted to be a dancer. My sisters, they started when they were 7, and then I joined a little bit later. And my mom said that I was 2 years old, and I used to dance at every store when they have a musical background. I used to be just dancing around, so I think I was always a dancer.
My sister had gone to take dance lessons at the Monona Academy of Dance, and my mom wouldn't leave me home because I was playing football in the house and breaking furniture and all that good stuff. So she took me along to the studio, and since I was quite an active little guy, I figured, well, I'm here. I saw a lot of action going on in the studios, and I figured I would try it out. So that's kind of how it all began.
Я начал в 10 лет, как все советские дети, которые поступали в хореографическое училище. Когда мне было 13, я перевелся в московское училище, которое закончил спустя 5 лет. И вот с 92-го года я, так сказать, ведущий танцовщик Большого театра.
Being lucky in my career, I think it's a combination of both. It's luck and hard work. I was very lucky to have the opportunity to even audition to work with American Ballet Theatre. But I work really hard.
I think as a dancer, the better you are, the harder you have to work. When you reach a certain level, in order to just stay at that level, you have to work very hard. And if you want to go beyond that, you have to work much, much harder.
С утра до вечера убиваясь и занимаясь своим делом, без удачи ты не сделаешь ничего. Вот это вот случай, который тебя заставляет как бы прийти в тот момент, в нужный час, в нужное место, это очень важно. Если нет у человека удачи, ничего не выйдет.
I've had to put an immense amount of work into it. I've had to be thoughtful. As an artist, it takes a lot of time and energy, and I've certainly dedicated a lot of time and energy to dance. And as well, you can't just be lucky and expect to have a career in this art form. It's much too difficult, and there's too many other good dancers that challenge you. It's a big task for just 4 guys to carry a whole show, and I don't mean that just in the sense of stamina and delivering all of the hard dancing night after night. I'm hopeful that it might be able to reach a broad audience. The content of the show has things that will inspire people who not only are already interested in dance, but those who maybe aren't familiar.
Мне вообще очень интересно было попробовать выйти рядом с 3 танцовщиками еще, которые на сегодняшний день одни из самых ведущих в мире. И просто почувствовать, что я могу еще.
For me, you know, it's just a once in a lifetime opportunity to work with all these people, dancers, the different choreographers, and just to be inspired about the whole thing.
This was something that I always wanted to do, to work with all these choreographers, to work with all these great dancers, and to put a show together of this caliber. It's a dream more than a challenge.
We have spent weeks together, we work together with, you know, I now know these other dancers, and I know the ways of dancing, the way they think about art and dance, and you know, it's been very inspiring.
Getting together with some of the greatest dancers in the world, to me, is the greatest treat, and you get to learn and you get to experience something that you normally don't do in your own companies.
Each dancer has his own unique qualities to bring to the show, and I find myself, you know, learning something each and every day. I also find myself being challenged to better my dancing. You know, I think there's a competitive element as well working with these guys, but it's a competitive element that is making me raise my game, so to speak, and so I'm thankful for this chance.
У каждого свое амплуа, и каждый в чем-то просто неподражаем. Глупо было бы совершенно нас сравнивать, потому что это все равно, что спорить, что лучше, Луна или Солнце. Но мне кажется, что одновременно увидеть и Луну, и Солнце, это дорогого стоит.
King of the dance. Well, that's a hard question, but that's an easy one due to the fact that being an American, I would say that we haven't really recognized royalty, and perhaps we've actually fought against it. So in that sense, no, I wouldn't consider myself a king, and otherwise I just consider myself a representative of male dance, and that there's many other dancers that could have potentially been involved in this show. I just happen to be an American dancer, and you know, I am a dancer of a certain level, but you know, I wouldn't label myself a king or something like that.
Whether we're kings of the dance or not, I feel that we all have something special and unique to bring to this program.
Когда я себя почувствую, я окажусь уже на кресле. Я буду об этом рассказывать в прошедшем времени. Тогда я себя, может быть, чем-то почувствую, а пока просто я занимаюсь с удовольствием тем, что делаю.
I think the title of king, it's kind of on the side. I think just going through history and being part of the male history of the ballet world, it would be more than enough for me. So I think trying to reach a different type of audience and trying to reach a different side of the ballet world is going to be something very special for me.
Я человек очень верующий, и в Библии написано: «Не сотвори себе кумира». Это одна из заповедей Моисея. Все как бы люди, которых я вставил в себе пример, они все из другой профессии. И даже все абсолютно противоположного пола. Могу нескольких людей назвать. Это, конечно, Мария Каллас, Грета Гарбо. И единственная, наверное, из балета Галина Сергеевна Уланова.
My idol, I think that I would have to look to my father. I wouldn't be where I am today without him, because he would drive me 2 hours each way to go to ballet class, and then at some points even drive me up to 4 hours to perform in a certain Nutcracker production. I certainly have had many great dancers and famous artists who I've aspired to become, and that certainly had a great effect on me and my work, but I have to always go back to who really made it possible, who gave me the opportunity, who sacrificed the most to make this dream come true, and that's my dad.
I have many idols, but I don't think that they're dancers, actually. My family is a very important part of my life, and I think there's many important facts and people that actually are involved in my career and my life, because ultimately you are a person on stage. So,
being Danish, there's been quite a lot of Danish male dancers who has sort of made it big time, and considering it's such a small country, I think that anybody coming from Denmark has a great respect for these people. But I see artists every day, you know, I see the other artists in this program, you know, I think they're fantastic, and the way that people have handled their careers and stuff is inspiring.
I think for any choreographer, the pressure is always on to have to come up with a new piece of choreography in a relatively short period of time. But when you're working with 4 of the greatest male dancers on the planet, the pressure is somewhat off. They are exquisite artists. I'll admit that at times it was a little bit like playing a game of tennis with 4 balls that bounce in different directions. But I think in any choreographer's career, this would be an absolute highlight to have the opportunity to work with 4 great male dancers. And now we have the chance to show what it is that we've created together on the stage here for a live audience.
Let's go for a run through.